Hi, and welcome back to Jan's Views on Crime, Jay Slater, The Inquest, Twitter Talks. I haven't had much time to go on Twitter today, but when I did, I found some very interesting things on there that I wanted to share with you. So let me first introduce you to Tama. I think that's how they pronounce their name. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. Some of the things that this person has said, I thought we can discuss. So, firstly, they put strange how one of the two construction workers is a good family friend or member of Ophelia's family. Both Ophelia and her sister have known Juan Diaz for a minimum of at least 5 years. So, what do we think about that? I think in such a small community, there is a good chance that, one of the construction workers could be a family member. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you have to remember it's a very small community, Masca. And obviously, we're talking about these construction workers who were called to speak at the inquest to give their evidence or their memories of seeing Jay. So that's why we're talking about these people. None of us had heard about that before, had we? Nobody had, these construction workers just came out of nowhere. So,
I've gone back upstairs, had a t-shirt, shorts, sliders, went into the car. That Ophelia's husband kind of directed me to another parking spot.
oh, so did he know Ophelia? Did you know Ophelia? So that these people, they're all out there, and they're sort of directing you, saying, "Moron, don't park in front of my car." But okay, all right. Well,
What's up? And he went, "Oh no, I need to get off. This woman's told me I can catch a bus from here every 10 minutes."
oh, yeah, okay. So that's the woman that was in the house, because prior to this, you said that he was walking out of the house as you were walking in. So, okay, so Ophelia was stood in the house, and yeah, okay. Anyone seen that pink elephant fly by?
And I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna get going. And I was like, "But I'll drop you off later when I wake up." And that, and he's like, "No, I need to get a sperm. I need to get a bit of food."
So I can see this person's point. Yeah, it does seem strange, most definitely. So let's click on the next one. Hopefully, I've got it in whatever you call it. What you got? Sequence. That's the word. So right underneath. Well, he then puts Juan Diaz, family member of Ophelia's, was helping her brother do some construction work, not road construction work. According to Ayub, he turned up at his door with Ophelia and Raymond, her brother. He had a wheelbarrow in hand as they were offloading mortar. The road construction workers do not start work until 8 o'clock in the morning. So, okay, so let's have a look at that for a second. Can you remember Ayab telling the story of Ophelia appearing at his door with somebody who had a t-shirt on that was too small for them or something like that, and his belly was sticking out the bottom? So is that Raymond, her brother? Well, I don't know. I mean, it does seem as if, um, I hate to say it, that Ayub could well have been telling the truth when he said that Ophelia knocked at the door. If you remember, apparently she knocked at the door because she was asking for them to move their car. That was the original story. So, yeah, it's quite interesting.
No, I need to get off. This woman's told me I can catch a bus from here every 10 minutes. And I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna get going. And I was like, "But I'll drop you off later when I wake up." And that, and he's like, "No, I need to get a sperm. I need to get a bit of food."
Right. So what was happening here then? Was Ayab talking in his sleep? Was he? So when Jay said, "Look, I want to go. I'm going to hit the road. I'm going to catch a bus down the road." Ayub then said, "Yeah, well, wait until I wake up because I'm still asleep. I'm sleep talking, and yeah, just wait until I wake up." So underneath there, I don't know if you can see it from there. It says the coroner said he was with Mr. Hernandez helping with some construction work. At around 7:50 a.m., an English-speaking guy came out of the holiday home. He approached Mr. Diaz and asked him in English at what time does the bus leave, to which he responded, "It leaves at 10 o'clock." See, we've heard that, haven't we? We have heard that, guys. The English guy asked if there were taxis. Mr. Diaz said there were no taxis in Masca. When he saw the guy had gone missing, he realised the missing person was the guy that had been asking them about the bus at that time. That all kind of makes sense, doesn't it? The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is I understood that Jay didn't have any money on him. So, I mean, a taxi all the way back. I mean, what, it's 30 kilometres, wasn't it? All the way back to where he was staying in Tenerife from Masca would have set him back a pretty penny, I would say. So, where was he going to get that money from? Especially bearing in mind he's meant to have already left the Airbnb. So if he was going for a taxi, what was he going to ask Ayub to pay for the taxi? I don't know. That's quite interesting, isn't it? And also getting a bus, I can sort of understand that a little bit. It's much cheaper. But to actually ask if there were any taxis, maybe he was. Maybe he was going to go back and ask Ayub. Let me know your thoughts, as usual, in the comment section. I want to say thank you so much to those of you that are chatting under the videos. That's what I want, you know. I want to, you know, have conversations with you all and hear what you've got to say. I learned so much from you guys, and I really appreciate it. So the next one, before I move on to the next one, actually, I'm just going to ask you how you are. I hope you're all very well. I've had a lovely Saturday today. I went and saw my granddaughter dancing on the stage. Loved it. The weather is going to be typical bank holiday weather, so it's going to be pissing down. What can I say? But I'm quite happy with that because at least it means that my plants get watered. So, yeah, all right, I don't mind. And I've got things to get on with indoors. So, here we go. Let's move on to the next one. So, Tama again says, Josh Forshaw related at the inquest, or maybe he should have said relayed at the inquest, that Jay had drunk 10 to 15 vodka shots that night. Blimey, that's a hell of a lot of vodka. I can't drink vodka. I had it once and I was so violently sick, I've never had it again. My daughter said to me, "Mum, was it because you were mixing drinks?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe it was." But I still stay away from vodka. What's your drink of choice, guys? Let me know. Do you like a vodka, or I mean, both my girls, they like a vodka, not straight vodka. They have it with some sort of fancy drink with it. But anyway, let's get back to this. So, Jay had 10 to 15 vodka shots, and if it's vodka shots, it means it's undiluted, doesn't it? Jesus, he must have been off of his head. How did Jay do that, Josh? What? How did Jay do that, Josh, with no funds? Okay, so Josh Forshaw, he's the guy that's all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere, who he happened to meet Jay on the plane flying over to Tenerife. Yeah, remember that, Josh? And was also at the inquest, and yeah, so it's that Josh. So yeah, it's like I've just said, really, Jay supposedly had no funds, and so how did he afford 10 to 15 vodka shots? They're not cheap, are they, guys? Booze is not cheap. Nothing's cheap. in today's world. So he's also added, it also comes into contradiction with Debbie's testimony of having spoken to Jay, that he wasn't going to overdo it that night because he wanted to enjoy the rest of his holiday. And I can actually agree with that. I mean, who wants to be like, it's all right going out and having a good laugh and a good dance and all the rest of it, of an evening, but I mean, don't you want to, you're in Spain, don't you want to go out and go on the lovely beaches and run sand through your toes and just generally enjoy your holiday? Otherwise you might as well just be anywhere. I mean, you can get drunk anywhere, can't you? So why bother going to Tenerife just to get completely blottoed? Anyway. I'm a bit old for all that kind of thing anyway, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. Oh no, I've messed this up. Okay, where are we? No, we're there. Right, hang on, guys. I won't panic. I won't panic. We're back to there. So underneath, it says a vodka shot of Papagayo in Tenerife could cost anywhere from 6 to 10 euros. Jeez Louise. Depending on the establishment and whether it's a single or a double. Many places in Los Americas offer large measures of vodka, often served with a small bottle of mixer like Coke. Yeah, vodka and Coke, isn't it? Or vodka and tonic people go for. So, how did Jay have 70 euros to pay for all the... Well, more than that. I mean, if he had 10 to... Oh, no, I'm not going to embarrass myself. You know, when people say they're word blind, I'm number blind. I cannot add up to save my life. So anyway, that's a hell of a lot of money Jay would have spent that night on alcohol, isn't it? So, yeah, where did he get that money from? I think we all know. Anyway, so let's then move on to... So is that the end of Tamar? That is. Right, so we're moving on to this, which I thought was really interesting. I've cut it down, which actually you can't see who blooming wrote it now, but does it really matter? It doesn't matter, does it? So anyway, in this, oh my God, it's like... Yeah, this person, obviously, I would say... probably work there themselves. It doesn't matter. Stop speculating, Jan. Get on with it. Right, so it says Lucy and Hodges' working hours were 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. at the Papagayo Club as independent festival crew. Yeah, we know what that means, don't we? Independent festival crew? My eye. But anyway, I try not to be sarcastic all the way through. After 1 p.m, Papagayo was to revert back to its regular club programme. This part of the programme was not Lucy and Hodges' territory. Okay, so they would get the boot. They'd get booted out at that time, metaphorically. So that's when they'd stop doing whatever it was they were doing before 1 o'clock in the morning. So that, yeah, make of that what you will. So Lucy went upstairs just before 1 as the NRG programme was coming to its end. Coincidentally, Rocky and Ayoub lookalikes were already on the upper floor in the VIP area at the same time. So why are they saying lookalikes? Was it them or was it not them? But anyway, Jay, a little before 1 a.m, they're getting their PMs and their AMs wrong, aren't they? Anyway, Jay, a little before 1 a.m, is handed a bottle of water, a witness stated. A witness stated it was Hodgie. Later, a waitress came forward with a statement saying she had given the water free to Jay because he had been looking unwell. Jay, having danced the night away, would have been thirsty. He wouldn't just be thirsty, would he, guys? He'd be completely zonked. He'd be out of his head. If he'd have drunk all that vodka and done anything else, I'm not even talking about the other things beginning with D and ending in S, that he may have been taken. Oh my God, I'm surprised he could stand, because at the end of the day, he was a very frail looking boy. He wasn't a big chunk of a boy like Brandon. So, yeah. Oh, Lordy, Miss Claudie. But at first he had no access to funds. Okay, see, we've gone back to money. So what? Where's all his money gone? All water at Papagayo's had to be paid for with a small 50 cl bottle of water costing €260. I'm sure Jay would gratefully have accepted. Well, yes, of course he would. Poor boy's probably blottoed on the floor. I mean, oh, God. All the while, Lucy is on the upper floor. Jay has taken a turn for the worse, appearing to be out of it. Well, that's no surprise, is it, guys? Of course. Hodgie, with Lucy on the upper floor, closely marks Jay as he continues to dance and sway and wobble in front of him. Hodgie remains unemotional, expressionless. He simply observes, even when Jay finally topples unconscious to the floor in front of his very own feet. Well, no, that's not quite right, is it? Because Hodgie is upstairs, right? It says here, Hodgie is on the upper floor watching Jay. So he wouldn't have fallen in front of his own feet, would he? He wouldn't have fallen in front of Hodgie's feet. But, I mean, some of those videos that we saw, it does look as if people were watching him specifically and that the camera was trained on Jay specifically. Very haunting, actually, when you realise, or, you know, when you remember that that was the last, you know, few hours of that young man's life. It's very haunting. Especially where those videos were filmed, because you can see he was heading for trouble. And I mean, we've all gone out and drunk too much, but thankfully we've had people around us looking after us. Well, I know how I have. I've never really got that blotto before because I was always the designated driver. So, be careful what I say here. So, I would have a drink at the beginning of the night and then I'd switch over to like soft drinks. But yeah, I'm not a heavy drinker, so I've never got blotto before. That's all I say. So the last bit I want to read, which I thought was really, really interesting and takes us back to the inquest. So on this one, it says the three people who last saw Jay Slater alive speak out. Now, this is interesting. So we've got Luisa Hernandez, who is Ophelia. So, reading from the Spanish woman's statement, Lancashire's senior coroner, Dr. James Adderley, well, we all know, well, I'm not even going to say anything about him, said on Monday, June 17th, about 7:55, she left her house in Muscat and noticed there was a guy at the door of her home. The young man asked her what time the bus was. Oh, okay, so is this before or after Ayub has come out and moved his car? Doesn't say. Anyway, she said he was definitely a foreigner. She understood the word bus and told him it passed by at 10 a.m. He asked her again what time the bus comes. She pointed to the bus stop. She went to her house to have breakfast. She doesn't live there though, does she? She didn't live there. She lived in another village, didn't she? So what did she do? Get in the car, drive to her house, and then come back? Anyway, she went to her house to have breakfast, and then she needed to go and collect her insurance policy. She drove on the main road and arrived at the viewpoint. At 8:15 a.m, she saw the same guy walking along the road. He was walking at a brisk pace. Well, I doubt that very much. I doubt he was doing anything briskly, to be honest, after drinking all that. She only saw him for a few seconds, and that was the last time she saw him. He was alone at both times. Okay, so that's obviously... What, has that come through a translator? I don't know. Right, let's move on to Raymond Hernandez, who presumably is her brother. Right, The coroner referred to Mr. Hernandez, no relation to Louisa was disclosed. It's a brother, isn't it? Seeing a car which he believed belonged to two guys who were tenants of his holiday home. That's Raymond. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, okay. Penny's dropped. Didn't Duncan call him something else? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Romeo. No, not Romeo. Anyway, so a guy with a dark complexion came out and Mr. Hernandez, who was with a friend, Juan Diaz, told him where he could park the car. Mr. Hernandez reversed his vehicle out of the road. He was approached by a man who he later recognised without a doubt as being Jay. Oh, right, so he knew for sure it was Jay. How did he know it was Jay? Has he already seen Jay? He was wearing jeans and light-coloured t-shirt. Well, isn't that strange? Because that must mean that Jay was wearing jeans and a light-coloured t-shirt when he was in the club the night before. Doesn't it? That's a bit weird. Unless Jay happened to take like a change of clothes with him when he went to the club. What do you reckon, guys? Okay. Jay asked him if they knew when the bus came, so he's asked them again. So that's two people he's asked 3 times. They replied it would not come until at least 10 o'clock in the morning. They were unloading sacks of mortar and left at 1 p.m. He didn't notice whether his guest's car was still in the same place. Oh, really? Did you not? That's strange, isn't it? Because it's such, as I've already said, it's such a small community. How would he not notice, especially after he'd asked his, Ayub to move the car. He didn't notice if it had been moved or not before 1 o'clock. Okay, whatever. Then we've got Juan Diaz saying he was with Mr. Hernandez helping with some construction work at around 7:50 a.m. Yeah, timing's fit. An English-speaking guy came out of the holiday home. Oh, right. So now that's interesting because didn't it say that he was already at the door? Look. Ophelia said she left her house and noticed there was a guy at the door of her home, whereas Hernandez, I'm getting all the names rolled up now. This dude, Juan Diaz, says, and he didn't ask him in English. He came out of the holiday home. All right. He approached Mr. Diaz and asked him in English, at what time does the bus leave? To which he responded, it leaves at 10 o'clock. So he understood that all right then, did he? So that's 3 people Jay's asked.
Said to me, like, from what they were saying, like, they're speaking Spanish. I know bits of Spanish. And from what I gathered, they were just basically like, hermano, can you move your car, basically? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. I'll move it. Let me just go back upstairs and wear my t-shirt and my shorts. Because I just ran downstairs in my boxes. You know
all right, okay. If you're still with me, guys, what's actually happened here is that knock on the door that Jay didn't want to answer. Ayab ran down the stairs and after giggling, because he thought it was funny that Jay didn't answer the door. Anyway, so Ayab answers the door and there's these people at the door who don't speak English. Are you with me, guys? I do hope you're still with me. It's all a bit much, isn't it? Okay. The English guy asked if there were taxis. Mr. Diaz said there were no taxis in Masca. Really? Well, I've heard that Masca is quite a popular place for hill walkers and what do they call it when they go track? I don't know. I don't know why people do that. Anyway, that's by the by. You know, they go hill walking and all the rest of it. What? There's no taxis there. That's weird. But anyway, okay, according to Mr. Juan, there were no taxis. When he saw the guy had gone missing, he realised the missing person was a guy they had been asking who had been asking them about the time of the bus. So that's that, guys. God. Guys, let me know in the comment section what you think. Twitter is a great source for me to see what's going on, and yeah, I'm busily screenshotting and getting things ready for you, because I think this is quite it's quite interesting to actually see people writing in first time. I know we've got people like Wax and Mama D and Duncan who give us like videos virtually daily, but it's quite nice to see other people writing things about it and giving their opinion on it. One thing I will say, although I've gone 10 minutes over, one thing I will say, the Manchester Evening News did a interview with a young male reporter. I think I'll show you. I'll show you that in the next video. So I think I'm going to head off. You have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be back very, very soon. Trust me. You take care of yourselves out there, because trust me, it's a rotten old world. So until the next one, bye bye for now.